Is it possible to land a fully remote job if you never worked remotely before? Can you work in something that you really like? How to do that? Stay with me because in this video, we are going to cover all those topics and much more. I am Juliana Rabbi, and this is my YouTube channel. I help professionals to land a remote job in 90 days. I talk about remote jobs, LinkedIn, curriculum, job interviews, and all things career related. So follow the channel to see a new video every week. Today, I'm really excited to record this video because I have Vanessa with me and she has an amazing story to share about how she landed her first remote job in the middle of the pandemic. So, Vanessa, thank you very much for your time. I'm really happy to have you here.
Thank you, Juliana, for the invite. I'm really glad to talk to you today.
Nice. So, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Vanessa. I'm 31 years old. I currently live in Brazil, in Minas Gerais, and now I work as a product manager in a startup environment.
Nice. That's really nice. I remember that in June 2020, you hired my services to help you to land a job. So let's go back in time. Let's go back to June 2020. What was going on in your professional life at that time?
I was working on the automotive sector as a product manager also, but I was getting a little bit tired because I couldn't see anywhere to grow anymore in the company.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was doing the same thing for 3 years, which is not a problem once you have something to aspire to grow inside the company. And I didn't have that. And also my boyfriend moved to Ireland. So my first goal was to find a job outside Brazil.
Okay.
So I could be closer to him, right? So I was looking for places for jobs in Ireland or somewhere in Europe, but
Okay.
always as a product manager because it's something that I like and something that I want to keep doing, you know.
Nice.
But recently I talked to some friends and that changed my point of view.
Why?
So, because I could see that working remotely from any place, I could also go see him and be close to him.
Exactly.
So that changed a little bit my point of view.
Kind of open a new perspective to you.
Exactly. I didn't have that perspective before once we
Mm-hmm.
talked in June,
Yeah.
but I got it in January, so this year,
Yeah.
so I changed perspectives.
It's amazing how the job market changed since June last year to now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
remote work is like growing and growing, and more people like you're not considering this option before. You're thinking about moving from Brazil to Ireland. That was the only way to
yeah,
be with your boyfriend, but with the remote work opportunity, you can be working for a Brazilian company and you can go visit him and go anywhere you want. That's amazing, right? What a
exactly.
change.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. I saw remote opportunities, but I didn't think of applying because I didn't think that it was a possibility.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I don't love that, but I see that happening very often. A lot of people see the jobs, the remote jobs, but they think, oh, it's too hard. Oh, that's not for
Yeah.
me, or probably I'm not qualified. I don't know how to do it. So that's a very common situation. Is that something that happened that changed your mind, that made you start considering remote jobs? Was this conversation with your friends or something else that you
I
said, I will
started
try?
working, yeah, I started working a lot from home because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Before I had this opportunity to work from home, I didn't think that I would fit, because I thought that I didn't have rules and all that is needed to work from home. But now it's been almost a year that I'm working from home. I had a little bit of traveling because of work, but I'm working from home for almost a year, and I'm completely adept. I have my timing to work, timing
Nice.
to have fun and everything. So
You
after
found the
that, I
balance.
saw,
You find
yes,
that.
exactly. I
Nice.
could see that I'm I'm fit to work remotely, you
Yeah.
know. So that's something that changed also. And then I was talking to my friend, and she said that one very nice startup of the Brazilian market, they are trying to do everything remotely. So she didn't know when she would come back to the office or if she would. And then I started to see that there are benefits, you know. So you can work, you can visit your family, you can work from other cities if you're a little bit tired of the place you are,
Yeah.
and these kind of things.
Nice.
So I started applying.
Yeah. I love that because when we are open to listen to people and to consider other options, that's when magic happens, right? So your
Yeah,
friend told you
exactly.
that, then you start searching for different options, and then a lot of new opportunities open up to you that a few months ago you're not even thinking about it. But everything changed fast once you open
Yeah,
yourself to consider that maybe you could. And the experience working remotely during the pandemic also helped you to see that, yes, I like that. I can organize
yeah,
my time and work well.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
nice because a lot of people still think that companies are not hiring because of the whole situation that we are living. But companies are hiring. You are the proof of that. And
Yeah,
companies are hiring for remote positions, even for people who never worked remotely before, like your case, just during the pandemic. So you're a great example
yeah,
that market is hiring. There are opportunities out there, right?
yeah. And it's not only abroad, you know. I was hired for a Brazilian company, and I'm
Exactly.
working in Brazil. And I saw a lot of opportunities to work remotely in Brazil.
Yeah.
So the company I was hired is from São Paulo, and I'm working from Minas Gerais.
Wow. Which is another state, very far away from Sao
Yeah,
Paulo. Yeah.
very far. And I
Nice.
know people that are working from other states also, from Rio de Janeiro, that it's also far from São Paulo.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
the position is completely remote. And I've been seeing that there are a lot of opportunities uh, remote,
Mm-hmm.
and it's growing. I
Yeah.
think this is going to be the
The new
future.
reality, the future, the
Yeah,
present already, right?
exactly.
Here's the
Yeah.
present already. Yeah. I'm very curious to know, Vanessa, more about the job searching, the process itself. How did you found this job? I know your friend told you about it, and then you said you start searching for the job. So can you share a bit more? How was this process once you decided I'm going to go for a remote job? So how was the process since that moment?
I was trying to change a little bit my career because where I worked, I was more a project manager, and I didn't have a lot of liberty on what I was doing. Let's say like this. So I was trying to change a little bit and be in a startup or a company that I would have more authority to do what I know to do, right? But I studied to do. So I've been searching since we talked, since we did my curriculum and LinkedIn
Yeah.
profile. But in January, during the New Year's holiday, I was with my friends and we were talking, and I opened my mind about the remote positions. After the holidays, we came back and I started searching for jobs as product manager. I was searching abroad and here also, trying to look at all the possibilities.
Which
And
were the tools that you're using, LinkedIn or
I
any
was
specific website? A lot of
I
them.
was using LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I looked at Indeed, but I was searching more in LinkedIn. I preferred LinkedIn.
It's the main source. Everything is
Yeah,
there. Most of the jobs
yeah,
are there. Yeah.
exactly. And I was searching for product manager openings, and I saw this for this company, for this startup in São Paulo, and I applied. I entered, saw that the job description fit what I do, and I was capable to do it.
Nice.
So, but it wasn't something that I worked before. I would know the how to manage the product and to do the day by day activities, but the products I didn't know. So I applied, And I found it weird because every time you apply in a company, it redirects you to the company's website, or you do by the LinkedIn. This one went to a form on Google.
Oh,
So
okay.
I found it weird.
Different.
I
Yeah.
said, yeah, different. I said, okay, this is not going to work, but let's try. So I filled out the forms. It didn't ask for my resume or nothing. And it was, I don't know if it was a Monday. On Wednesday, one person from the company texted me on the LinkedIn
Two
and said
days
he liked
later.
my profile. two
Very
days later.
fast. Very fast.
Yeah. He said that he liked my profile and he wanted to schedule an interview on that
Yeah.
same week.
Okay.
So we did the interview, and it was around 40 minutes. We talked a little bit. I presented myself and my abilities and everything that I do, that I did on the other company. And he said, okay, I'm going on vacation next week, but my partner will contact you. Okay, so check your email next week. And he said that he was talking to 3 other people and they wanted to start in February. So it would be fast.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Very
So
fast.
I was on the next week after the interview, I was checking my email like every day. So I was
Yes.
anxious. But I didn't receive any news. The partner didn't contact me, didn't call me. So I thought that it didn't work out because I had another meeting on another company on the same week.
Oh, also for a remote
For the
job.
same, also for a remote job. The company is from Minas Gerais, but it was for a remote job also.
Wow. Two process for a
So
remote job. I love that.
yeah,
It's amazing.
on the same week
On the
that
same
I
week
applied,
in
yeah, I applied
January,
for
right after the
exactly,
holidays. Yeah.
exactly. So okay, he didn't contact me. I received the email from the other company saying that I didn't pass the process.
Oh,
Okay, so I thought that the same thing what had happened, but they would send the email 2, 3 weeks later. On the last week of January, they sent me an email saying that they wanted to continue the process
okay.
and if I could do another interview that week. Okay, I sent my proposal of
That was the second
time.
interview, right?
There was a
Second
second
interview.
interview. Yeah. And they scheduled the interview for on Wednesday in the morning around 11. And it was a really fast talk with the other partner. It was 15 minutes only
Short one.
and really short. Yeah, I wasn't that sure that it was good because I had never done an interview so short like this. And it was around 11. Around 2 p.m., I received an email with the proposal to
In the
work for
same
them.
day,
Same day.
3 hours
Yeah.
later. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
3 hours later.
So the whole process lasted what? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, with
Three
one
three
week
weeks
with no
because
news because the guy was
yeah,
on holiday. Wow.
yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. And when did you
3 weeks.
start the job? Beginning of February.
Yesterday. No, I
Yesterday.
started yesterday. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
When you told me about the job, you haven't started yet. Okay. A few weeks
No, I
ago.
was, yeah,
Yeah.
I was doing the bureaucratic things for
Yeah.
the other company,
Wow.
passing all my activities because they were a lot.
Yeah.
And I started yesterday.
And
So
how was
today
it?
was my second day.
How was the first 2 days?
They were very nice. It's a lot of things because they
So
are
new.
starting the project manager sector, let's say like this. So I'm going to structure everything. They
Wow.
counting on me to do that. So it will be a lot of things, but it's very nice. It's a challenge that I didn't have before, and I didn't had the chance to have it on the other company.
So now it's the
So
moment. You can
yeah,
grow. That's what you're looking
exactly,
for, right? An opportunity to
exactly.
grow and all of that. I really like what you shared, Vanessa, because there are so many good things. Um, you were searching for remote jobs and you didn't search only for one. So despite the fact you were doing interviews, you still keep applying for all the jobs. And that is so important. We shouldn't put all the eggs in the same basket, right? So you were doing one process, but you were still applying, you still went to the other interview and all of that. This is very important in the process. Until you receive the yes, you are still in the process. You never know what's going to happen. So you did perfectly, still applying for jobs, still doing interviews and acting very professionally, but moving ahead with other processes. That was good. And also, the way you went for it, like your mentality, your mindset changed in January during the holidays when you spoke to your friends. And then you start searching for the job and everything went very fast. So when we are ready, things happen. I mean, you did your part. Yeah. Obviously, you're not just seated at home and waiting, but once you made the decision of, I'm going to search for remote jobs, you put the time, the effort, and everything went really fast. That's really, really nice. Very inspiring story. Definitely. Well done. Well done. I also remember that when you texted me to share the good news about the job and all of that, you said something like, without my tips and the information I shared during the consultation, it would have been much harder to land this job. So what exactly do you mean with that? Which was the impact that my consultation, my job had in your process of landing this new job?
I remember that before I was always sending the same resume to all the vacancies, all the job openings and everything. And when we started working together, the first time that I saw my resume, I said to my boyfriend, this is not me. And he said, yes, it is.
Why, you saw it better? Like
a lot better, a lot better. I didn't know how to write all my skills in the paper, you know. Yeah. So I know how to do and I know how to show them, but I didn't know how to write. And even though we didn't do a live consultation, let's say like this, right? But I read the resume, I read my profile, all the tips that you wrote during the editing. And I learned a little bit about how to sell myself. And all of your lives and videos on YouTube also helped me understand that each opening is one. So you have to write to that one. You know, you don't have something standard to send. So that helped me a lot because I didn't understand that before. Mm-hmm. And I kept complaining that I didn't receive any replies, I didn't receive any news, anything, but I also didn't do what I had to do. I didn't study the company. I studied for the interview, but not to apply for the job. And this is important also. Yeah. You know? Yes. And that is what I learned a lot about our time together. You know? This is really important, I think. And
sometimes
this is,
I think
this is the best.
But they make a big difference. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's very nice. Thanks for sharing that. And to finish our video, we could stay here talking for a long time, but I just want to make sure that whoever is watching the video also gets some value, because I keep talking to people that are not motivated and they don't, it's not that they are not motivated, they don't think deep inside that they are capable of landing a remote job. A little bit like you were thinking before speaking to your friends, like last year, you were not considering this opportunity. So a lot of people, they see remote jobs around, they know they are happening, they know the companies are hiring, but they don't think that they can do that. So based on your experience now, landing a fully remote job, your first fully remote job in the middle of the pandemic in a bit more than a month or less than a month, let's say around 1 month, what can you say to people that don't have previous remote experience, they are not sure if they can make it, but they are interested in giving it a try? Which is your message for them?
I think that we'll always have something that we are not the perfect fit, you know, but you have to commit yourself to that. So if it's something that you really want, try to improve your routine, try to find the balance. So when you have the opportunity to work in a remote company, network as a remote employee, you are already prepared. And also, I know from experience, because from all my professional career, that we are not always ready and we don't know everything about it.
Yes.
So sometimes you have to risk it to have that feeling that you are capable of doing the things, you know. I worked for 6 years on the automotive sector, and I didn't know anything when I entered.
Yes.
So it was a risk that I took because it was something that I was interested in. And now it's the same thing. It's something that I'm interested, and it's a risk that I'm taking. And I feel that I'm going to be a lot happier, you know. So if it's something that you want, take the risk.
Yes.
It's important to do these kind of things because you'll never know if you're capable or not if you
Until
don't
you
do
give it
it.
a try. Yeah. And
Exactly.
I liked when you said that you were planning a change in your career. So you planned making this movement, right? You're not happy anymore in the old job, in the old industry. So you
Exactly.
plan that and then you start acting accordingly. And well, you need to take risks, but it was a calculated risk because it was towards the direction you wanted to go. So when you know where you want to get, it's a matter of time and the right strategy
Yeah.
to get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
really
If
nice.
you're not happy, it doesn't help you only to complain. You know,
Exactly.
you have to make a change.
Yes.
So if it's a remote job that you want, try to look for it, try to pursue it. And when the opportunity comes, I know that it's going to be, you have a little bit of fear because I
Yeah.
spent all the afternoon trying to think if I was going to accept it or not. But sometimes the opportunity comes once, you know, you have to take it because you know it's going to make you grow.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if it's not good, but you learn something from it,
Yes.
you know.
Wow, I
And
learned a
so
lot
you
from
make
you.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
you make it every opportunity a good one, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much for sharing all of that.
Thank you for the
Congratulations for
invite.
your for the second day of the new job. I'm really happy for you. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.